What nobody wants to hear about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Here's the problem that I've had having a conversation about the Cleveland Cavaliers, and this is going to be, I'm going to put my nice little bow on the Cleveland Cavaliers system or the season. And the reason why we're going to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers is so that we can put a bow on it and continue to do what we're going to do. Just put it out there and keep it pushing. I've been disappointed, thoroughly disappointed with the way that we've talked about the Cleveland Cavaliers in this offseason. I put a montage together. Because sometimes you just have to show people. You can't have conversations with people. You just have to show them what they sound like and what they're doing. The Cleveland Cavaliers were embarrassed 4-1 against the Indiana Pacers, excuse me. And I keep hearing people say that the Cavs are better. Oh, the Cavs are better. They just had a bad shooting night. 4 of them. Oh, the Cavs are better. They just, they had injuries. Again, oh, the Cavs have better players. The Cavs just, they ran into a bad matchup. Again, the reality of the situation is the Cleveland Cavaliers and to a same extent, the Guardians have the same thing going for them. In this town and what we talk about in the place that we are at Cleveland, Ohio, wherever you're at, the Browns are the top ticket. People live, sleep, die, breathe football. That's what they do. They talk about football. Football was born in Northeast Ohio. I am from Canton, Ohio, the birthplace of football, the Football Hall of Fame, and I understand just how important football is in the state of Ohio. We rock and roll with the Browns like our life depends on it. I just got done talking about Shedeur Sanders. And everybody either has an opinion or is super excited about it. You know why? Because it's the Browns, it's football, and the quarterback. Not the same for the Cavs or the Guardians. And the reality of this situation is when you try to talk basketball in this city and you talk about basketball, there's this apathy that comes over people, right? There's this malaise of what they feel about the Cavs. And to be truthful, the Cavs don't have the same pressure points. The Guardians don't have the same pressure points. As a matter of fact, what we do, we use the Cavaliers as our crutch for when the Browns are terrible. Browns are bad, at least we got the Cavs to weather the storm during the winter. Browns is terrible, at least we got the Guardians. We can go down to Progressive Field and enjoy a nice ball game. You see, my thesis statement, if you think about it, is that the Cavs, as well as the Guardians, understand something. They utilize this as a business. This is a business at the top level. Why would I spend top dollar, do rash things that may or may not get you to a title, and still be second fiddle in the streets? Let me explain. If you watch the Cleveland Cavaliers, and most people will say, the roster doesn't make sense. The roster does not fit. If they want, the roster looks great for regular season. Regular season basketball and playoff basketball from now on are 2 different sports, 2 different places, 2 different thought processes. You are built for the regular season where you can run around and pass the ball and people don't care about playing defense, and you can get these open shots and you could play a finesse style game. But as soon as you get past the first round in the playoffs, you're getting to rough riders. You're getting to people that are as skilled as you, but are more physical than you, are in more shape than you, are willing to impose their will on you. And you don't have that. So here's the situation. While you know that you should make a move, are you? Probably not. Because we love running it back. Because what we're telling you is we don't have that many expectation levels for you. It's like the middle son and the youngest son. The oldest son has all the responsibilities, all of them. You gonna take the trash out. You're gonna do the things. Your responsibility is, hey, when your parents are getting older and you got a family business, guess who's expected to take over the family business? When your parents get older and you got to make the decision of whether they need to go to hospice or not, you make that decision. When you need a family member to move in with you because that some catastrophic happened, you're the guy with the bigger house that people move into, right? The older kid always has it. You have a burden, you have a responsibility, or an awareness. That awareness and responsibility of all the media slander and hate go to the Cleveland Browns. The two younger brothers have none. If the Cavs win a championship, it's an added bonus. Cavs win 64 games. Hey, they had a great regular season, man. I got to go to the game and cheer in Loudville, and the fans are great. 64 wins, man. Great. Well, hey, we had a couple tough breaks in the playoffs, but why as a business would you introduce volatility? Adding new players could foil your plans. So why don't we just set back, stand still? And then we can say there was other things. It was the injuries. It took Michael Jordan 6-7 years. I mean, DG was hurt last year. He lost the weight this year. He couldn't run up and down the court. All this good stuff. Coach Kenny Atkinson. The problem is there's no expectation for them. So the fans will never put enough pressure on them as a Boston or New York or I wouldn't say Chicago, but Golden State. Teams like that, the teams that count, when you lose, it means something. When you lose, things happen, heads roll, and people make decisions. So the Guardians and the Cavs, they're selling other things besides totally winning. Because if you really want to totally win, you have to go out at a level that I don't think a lot of people are willing to do. For me, I just had to put it in a montage. We got a video coming up here that I'm going to play. I'll do what it takes. And I want you to listen to something. Listen to the difference between winners and losers. Watch the way fans are so flippant and when we lose. You've done it the same way 3 years in a row. I've heard people say, well, do you want to keep the core four together because Jason Tatum's injured now? Who makes decisions based on what other teams are doing? I thought the goal of this thing was to beat the teams at any cost. I don't care if Jason Tatum does not dictate what's happening on my roster. We need to get better. And I ask you a question out there. Why do you think that you're better than the Knicks? 4 games to 1. Why do you think you're better than the Celtics? 4 games to 1. Why do you believe you're better than the Pacers? 4 games to 1. And I tell you, it's not just physical, it's mental. And I don't believe you can make up for mental toughness. Let's take a look. This is courtesy of the Cleveland Cavaliers, also ESPN, and the links will be in the description.
But the truth of the matter is we didn't get to the level we wanted to get to. I think they presented a physical challenge that's probably the first off the bat. And to their credit, they kind of did it longer they could sustain longer than we could.
I think if you look at the series, we, kind of weren't ready for game 1.
What does it take to break you? I'm not saying it's our goal to try to break you. It's just the way it is in football. When you go through camp, it's going to be difficult because you're getting yourself ready to play an entire season at a high level. So everybody here has got to have a lot of mental toughness to be able to sustain what we do at a high level.
Now, that's not all physical, Chris. I think that part of that is mental, right? The mental strength to part of our growth. We obviously got to get physically better, or arrive physically better to compete with a team like this that plays at this high intense pace. And they're up here, guys. Like I know from the data, I know from watching film that they're up here.
The Miami series didn't really prepare us for that, and we kind of slept on that and didn't come out with the same force and aggression, and that wasn't good for us.
When you look back on this particular playoff, like, is it, what about this one is most painful?
Having a great regular season that we had, and proving the doubters wrong in the regular season, and then not putting the effort in as we wanted to in the postseason. That's what hurts the most.
You have to do is you have to have toughness. You got to be tougher than everybody that we play.
The mental part, you know, that we got to get over that. You know, I just felt like we got another jump to make with kind of our mental strength.
You know, I've never stood up here in all the time that I've been here and ever really defined toughness for you. The way I'm going to define toughness to you, because I'm talking about mental toughness, and I think everybody can relate to it, is it's all about what does it take to break you.
We got areas we have to improve in, and we could not sustain, you know, from a physical standpoint, and then from a mental standpoint. They were just, I think they were stronger.
I don't care what circumstance you're faced with. What does it take to break your focus because you get frustrated about what happened on the last play? What does it take to make you give in because it's hot outside, or you're tired, or you don't feel like running to the ball or giving effort or finishing the play like you should because of how you feel, whether you're a little bit hurt?
You got a lot of people paying their hard-earned money to come watch you perform. Perform. It's your job to be in shape. It's your job to be strong enough to perform at that level every single night. And as a competitor, I'm not ducking shit. Like, it's not, oh my God, my back hurts, I'm sore.
And this is part of it. And I've been saying this all year. We had to arrive here healthy. It's the big, you know, it's the big.
And Vince was tearing the league up. My back was jacked. But like the perception of that, like, what? Kobe's missing the game against Toronto and Vince Carter because, man, my back was really spasming. But people will be like, what? Oh, he's ducking Vince. Excuse me?
It's the big hurdle. They were healthy. I mean, completely healthy. I believe so. They're at 100% healthy.
No, I don't think so. So I would be in the layup line like, okay, there's a lot of days where, you know, you can rest and recover. Today ain't one of them. Your back can bother you any other day. That ain't bothering me today. He gonna have to see me today.
And when you're working on the margins, you know, you got 3 guys out, 3 of your top 6 out. You got your point guard out for the first. It's like, you know, you just wish you were whole, you know, but.
Rajon Rondo is still best remembered for his time with the Boston Celtics, where he played his first 8+ seasons. Aside from helping them win the 2008 NBA title, he also provided them with a lot of memories that prove his toughness as a player. One of those moments happened in Game 3 of the 2011 Eastern Conference semifinals against the ascendant Miami Heat. With the Heat up 2-0 in this NBA playoff series, the Celtics needed a win to avoid falling down to a deeper hole. Somehow
we got to arrive here next year, you know, injury-free. I mean, that's the goal. We worked hard. We worked hard to do that, and there's bad luck, there's misfortune.
In the third quarter, Rondo got tangled up with Heat guard Dwayne Wade and dislocated his left elbow, which would have kept him out for the rest of the game. But after briefly going to the locker room, Rondo returned to the court and re-entered the game in the fourth quarter to raucous cheers from the TD Garden crowd.
You know, they weren't soft tissue, you know, injuries, which is somewhat controllable, right? So it's little misfortune, little bad luck.
The point guard helped the Celtics secure a 97-81 victory over Miami to get back into the series. He rarely used his left arm for the rest of the game, but still found a way to help Boston and finished with 6 points, 3 rebounds, and 11 assists.
And if you're the Cavs, also listen, disappointing way to finish, but a lot of positives, and they'll learn a lot from this experience. A lot to improve upon this upcoming offseason.
It is cliche. Laura, you said it too, but here we are saying there's always next year.
Good season, but tough loss, right? So Maybe next year. We'll get them next year.
They get past Orlando in the first round. They go one step further in the playoffs, and with all the injuries, just incredible.
Yeah, they got to be pleased with their progress. I think J.B. Bickerstaff has got to be happy to see some of the growth from those young guys.
So what do you think for next year?
I'm excited. I mean, it's cliche to say, but they're young. We'll do good.
Yeah. 5 to shoot. Turner, he puts it down.
The Indiana Pacers are heading back to the conference final.
The Indiana Pacers, this resurgent, ascending franchise.
That's what win the game all the time. All the time, but I still love the land. I'll be back next year.
There we go.
And just because you got beat on the last play, that can't affect the next play. All right? Or that's breaking you. Your frustration is breaking you. Just because you miss a block, or you get blocked, or you miss a tackle, or you fumble the ball. What does it take to break you?
So they have this illusion that they have all these choices. But the fact of the matter is if you want to be good, you really don't have a lot of choices because it takes what it takes.
Again, courtesy of the Cleveland Cavaliers, NBA, Nick Saban. Links in the description. See, sometimes I just let other people tell it. If I call you soft, G. Bush don't talk about basketball. You don't know about basketball. You don't know about toughness to the play. Well, I just take it from Kobe Bryant. Y'all like him, don't y'all? Ain't no way in hell I'm not playing because I'm playing Vince Carter and I'm not looking like I'm ducking no smoke. I'm Kobe. This is a regular season game. Nick Saban, one of the greatest college football coaches, period, in the game. But it's hot outside. Mental toughness is what does it take to break you? Your focus. The fact that we talking about this stuff, and I got to put the montages together because when you're saying it, you got to see it. When somebody say, "Oh, it wasn't soft tissue," I mean, I could have went on. I could have went to. I could give you Kevin McHale breaking his foot in the '80s against the Lakers, playing with a broken foot. I could give you Isaiah Thomas with a dislocated finger, as well as a severely sprained ankle against the Lakers in the finals. I can give you Emmitt Smith running for over 170 yards with a dislocated shoulder, just to get a first round bye. I can go on and on and on. I just chose to give you Rajon Rondo because he's a point guard. He has to dribble the ball. He dislocates his elbow, meaning I'm going to dribble that basketball up and down the court with one hand. I can't shoot, but I can sure drop dimes with one hand, because my team was down 2-0. There's a lot of people that don't understand a lot of stuff because you're too young or you didn't pay attention back then. That's why you got to have receipts at all times. Why would you, I'm confused as to why would people be saying to me, G. Bush, it was just bad luck. Is that what we're talking about as far as analysis now? We're using luck? I know y'all couldn't have played nothing because you would have got kicked off the team or had to run for saying anything about luck. It's about your will and your skill and what are you willing to do to pay the price. And there are a couple of people for the Cleveland Cavaliers that are not willing to pay the price. One of them is Jared Allen. And the problem we have is because they're nice and we like them and I don't got no problems with them. These are really good men. But good men and Boy Scouts don't win championships. History does not look back on great, nice guys. They look at guys who won. That's the difference between citizenships, sportsmanship awards, and championship rings. Come on now. 12 points and 6 rebounds. You've been outplayed by everybody. And my thought process is this. Since when are we front runners? Since when, G. Bush, my other favorite excuse is, besides the injuries, Halliburton was injured, by the way. Lots of people came into these series injured. Ask the Celtics how they feel about being injured. Tatum goes out and they won a game, injured. We didn't make shots. Do you think making and missing shots is a form of luck? Like, I don't know where these new analytics guys come from, and they talk about, oh, the analytics says that we just had a bad shooting night. The analytics was looking like, no. Your pressure makes people miss shots. Your aggressive nature on defense makes people miss shots. Your physicality makes people miss shots. And we sit up there and give this excuse. I can tell you never shot no basketball before. How dare you sit up here and talking about it's luck? We didn't shoot the ball well. No, somebody else was in front of you, locking you down, which made you not shoot well. And if you didn't hit the shots and you were 0 of 14, 1 of 15, that means you were mentally self-checked. All the excuses, I get it. Half the excuses come because you don't want to seem like you're killing all the Cleveland teams. The Browns are trash all the time. You be negative on them. You're like, I can't be negative about everybody now, can I? No, I just tell the truth. I just gave you what they said. Kobe got 5 rings. Saban got 10 championships or something. They preach mental toughness. They don't preach, we got to get here whole. What kind of noise is that? What kind of noise is the fact that you don't understand in the midst of battle, adversity is going to hit? What, you think you're going to be fresh? You think you're going to be just great the whole time? We just got to get here healthy. You got there healthy and got the brakes beat off of you. You played the least amount of minutes than anybody in the playoffs. You got the brakes beat off of you. You're physically feeble every year. Don't think so? You always got to show the receipts, G. Bush. They won't take your word for it. They don't take your word for it. Let's start back again. Let's go back in the time machine. You got to give them receipts, because if you don't, they just think you're just talking. You just talk too much. You don't know what you're talking about. Let's go back to the New York series where Jared Allen, quote unquote, said the bright lights was too bright. You have home court advantage in that series. You come out game 1 and lose. Sound familiar? No intensity, didn't get it done. You came back and fought back a little bit. You came back and fought back a little bit in one game. You tied it 1-1, and then you lost 3 straight, and they weren't close. You lost by 20 in game 3. You lost by 9 or 10 points in game 4. And you lost by, what is that, 11 points at home in game 5. Where are you talking about? Guess what, people? Lights were too bright. We'll be back. We'll be back. You don't get tough by just rolling over another calendar year. Again, let me ask you another question. Everybody in the world is talking about, shooting and doing whatever. There's 3 things that I thought were unacceptable in those press conferences. Max Strus said, number 1, I don't think we were ready to come out and play in game 1. How? How, Max? You're a veteran. You played for the Miami Heat. You've been to the finals. How are you not ready? 2, Kenny Atkinson. I thought they were just able, but physically they just were able to play longer and at that pace. And how? You're professional athletes. Kobe Bryant said it best. Hey, be ready to play. It's your job to be physically ready to play. And for you bench guys, you guys sat on the bench all year. You didn't even play that much. How are you tired? Why is Dean Wade tired? Why are you not able to handle the pressure in the press? Why? Ty Jerome looked like he couldn't even dribble. We couldn't bring the basketball up the court. That's a shame. You know why? Because you were gassed. My conditioning coordinators always tell us, fatigue will make cowards out of everyone. We'll be back, though. Stop acting like you just get skill points for rolling the calendar over. Jared Allen got bullied 3 years ago. How many more pounds does he put on in the weight room? How many? He didn't put no 25 pounds on in the weight room and say, not again. How many pounds does Darius Garland put on? Did he come back with 15 pounds bigger? No, he didn't. That was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, you got smoked. Now, guess what? You're telling me you're better than the Knicks? No, you're not. Let's keep it pushing. See if you guys learned anything. Let's go to Boston. Same thing. But this series, Boston was the champs. Boston, they just went, they took their lumps. They won the championship this year. Okay. This was also a game about toughness, mental toughness, physical, because Jared Allen didn't play in this series. We didn't see him since Orlando because they beat him up too. Let's see how this game went. Came out game 1 and got beat by 25. Sound familiar? Cavs fought back, tied the series, fought back 1-1. Then you get smoked the rest of the series. Donovan Mitchell don't play the rest of the series. You lose 4-1. Last game you lose by 15. Everybody told me, don't worry about it, G. Bush. Don't worry about it. I know Jared, he was injured. Darius wasn't right all year. We didn't have Donovan. Don't even worry about that. Listen, the Celtics were great. I know it looked bad, but let's go to this year. I know it looked bad, G, but just run it back. You get rid of Kenny. You get rid of what's his name. You get rid of JB. That's the only move you made. But this is 3 years in a row. I'm not even including the Hawks year. I'm not even including the Hawks loss in the playoff in the playoff tournament, the play-in round, the year before the Knicks. Let's keep it pushing. Let's get to this series. Same old excuses, bro. Same old tired excuses. Everybody want to think they so smart. I got advanced analytics that say we were the best team ever in the world ever to do it in the regular season, but when something happened in the shut up. Tired of this stuff. Game 1, Matt Strus said out of his mouth. We weren't ready to play game 1. Miami didn't. How does Miami need to tee you up for something? How is it that you came off a sweep and you said it didn't prepare us for what we saw? They act like these dudes was out here like they was monsters and bears. Monsters and bears. They were moving at a pace we've never seen. Are you talking about the Predator versus Alien movie? Had all kind of projectiles. They were the greatest thing we've ever seen. You come out and get smoked in game 1. You take a crap in the bed down your leg in game 2 and give that away. You showed up finally in game 3, right? And then the pivotal game 4, the game that's going to swing the series, the game that could get you back in, the game where nobody was listed on the report. Nobody was listed on the injury report. And you come out and get historically embarrassed in game 4. Down by 40 at points in time. And then in game 5, you come out sluggish. You come out with no energy, and you get closed out on your court. You lost 3 games. You're the number one. You lost 3 games at home. Bad shooting night, G. Bush. That's all it was. Bad shooting night. I see right here they moved the ball a little better. 29.4 assists, right? I see that. Not even a great rebounding team. Donovan Mitchell, let's take a look at this again. Donovan Mitchell had to average 35 for you to do anything. And the reason Donovan Mitchell has to average 35 is because there's a difference between the intensity and the way guys play defense, and the rest of your guys get locked up. That's what happens. So, look, man. You say, where do you go from here, G. Bush? Let me take this out. Let me get this out of here. Matter of fact, and I want to just show you. I got to show you because I'm tired of this narrative that the Cavs, no, this happens. No. There's a lot of armchair, and this ain't for everybody. It's a lot of wheelchair, armchair quarterbacks at the crib sitting here telling you that the Cavs is so good and they so great and they done did this and they did that. All you got to do is let them sit and simmer for 5 more years, and maybe one day it'll wake up and understand that it's serious. No, y'all fantasy football players and these dudes watching these analytics and stats is wild. Because you try to tell me and gaslight me that it's all about shooting. If you make threes, you win. If you don't, you lose. No, it's 17 other things that go into those things. And a lot of them have to do with whether or not you can play defense, with whether or not you execute, whether or not you get 50-50 balls, whether or not you box out people at the foul line, whether or not that you can get into somebody physically, close out and contest quarters, close out shots. These are all things that you talk about. But we've reduced the game of basketball down to people talking about how many threes you can shoot and why we are so smart for letting the Cavs come back as intact because, Tatum's gone listen, I'm going to tell you what. I don't like their team better than Detroit's. I don't like their team better than Orlando. You better hope Paolo Banchero don't figure it out with his 6'10", 270 self posting up your small guards. Another thing, while I'm at it, as I always talk about it, you weren't interested in winning. I was the only dude in the city, the only one, it's not debatable, who said, what are you starting Max Strus at 3-4? What are you doing? You just traded to get a guy to make yourself bigger and more athletic. And you started a bench rotation 2-guard at small forward and then wonder why you're getting posted up and then wonder how is Miles Turner always on Garland or Strus? Why is Pascal Siakam guarded by Donovan Mitchell? And the best part about it is, the worst part about it is, besides the last game of the postseason, Max Strus played better than all the rest of them anyway. He showed up more than Garland, and he showed up more than Jared Allen. Jared Allen got 12 points and 6 rebounds in his last final 2 games. And then your head coach comes out and say, we just physically were tired after you were the team that played your starters the least amount of minutes during the regular season. You know why maybe the New York is kind of tough? Because Tibbs runs those guys into the ground. Maybe they're battle tested. Maybe they are what we heard Coach Saban say. It's going to be hard, guys. It's going to be physical because we need to be able to sustain that level of intensity when we play good teams. So be it. But our team, the softest, most passive, flower-picking lily guys, we get the most rest off. We don't play our guys over a certain amount of minutes, and you see what happened. By the way, if you just want to say, oh, these guys, the Cavs, they're better than the Pacers. You're not better than somebody when somebody gentleman sweeps you. You won 4. You know how disrespectful that is? You won 4. They won 4 games against you. They won 4. The Pacers won 4. Boston won 4 games. And just so we understand and we clear, so we can get to these what's the names, so we can get to these comments. Look at this lineup. Look at this lineup. The Knicks lineup when they beat you: Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, Quentin Grimes, R.J. Barrett, and Jalen Brunson. They gave you this gentleman's sweep. They did this to you. This wasn't the Celtics. This wasn't even the Pacers. So my question to everybody that's sitting up in here as we put the flowers on the grave of this season for the Cleveland Cavaliers, which was a disappointment, which proved that we are looking around as frauds. And for all the apologists, that the guys that want to just keep going to Cavs games, I ain't got a problem for you. I ain't got a problem with you. I get it. I understand why fans do what they do because they don't have no expectation for the Cavs, period. They don't have them for the Guardians. We know the Guardians ain't going to pay for nobody. You're going to get to the playoffs. You win the AL Central. You play the Yankees. They hit 3-run home runs. You don't get any points. It happens all the time. And you're fine with that because you know what you can also say? Well, at least it's not the Browns. At least we give you championships, division champion. Hey, at least we get to the playoffs. And that's good enough for people. It's good enough for certain people. It just is. So the Cavs, you'll be mad after the season. You'll be mad during the time period. But the Cavs and Donovan Mitchell says, you guys are going to write us off. Yes, we are. Yes, indeed. You got to earn it. Same way we tell Shador, you got to earn it. Cavs, you got to earn it. You got to earn people's attention for the regular season because you can win 82 games. And unless Jared Allen comes back and Evan Mobley comes back like they didn't hit the weights, there's a thing called weights, people. Stop running around being 6'10", 205 using rubber bands. Get you some bench press in, get your little ankles stronger, your little wrists. There's a thing called the weight room. Welcome yourself to it. Because the only dog you got is Donovan Mitchell. All the rest of you, when it comes to the playoffs, you're pups. In the great words of Nick Saban, mental toughness is, what does it take to break you? And for the Cavs, it's not that much. Let's get to it. D time. He says, no racism cries. Because the only position, let me take this down. I need to take this banner down a little bit. There we go. Okay, he said, no racism cries. Because the only position that blacks are not dominating in the NFL are ownership and coaching. Don't you love this game? Hey, man. I think you're referring to the Shedeur Sanders thing. I mean, that's wild. Come on, people should be saying stuff, man. We only like him because he's... We appreciate you, though. James Crosby. Salute to you for the super chat. I appreciate you, my brother. We're putting on. Thank you so much. Your donations help this thing keep running. We go straight to the consumer. We cut out the middleman. We straight to consumer, straight to the street. Let me see. Let me get to some of these Cavs comments. I know y'all was cooking. Where these Cavs comments at? Keep them Cavs comments coming. You think I'm crazy? Let me see. I got to get these Cavs comments going. Go up here and figure out where I'm at. Here we go. Let's go. Let's start right here. Let me see. We almost there. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Pacers beat the Knicks in 6. Cavs ran into Star and Halliburton. Cavs fans should be happy to win a Not sure who they think they are. See that? Hey, I kind of remember. I actually kind of agree with you. To me, like the Cavs won a little first round situation, and at the end of the day, I don't know why people keep saying that they're better than the Pacers. I mean, that triggered me because I'm a competitor. Like, no, you can't say you better than somebody. They just beat you 4-1 and blew you out by 50 in the deciding game, almost like the pivotal game. It's wild to me. Sammy G, thank you so much. We appreciate you. If you've never played basketball on a real level, you can't call an NBA player soft. Brody's bottom line. Who you say I can't play? I can't call. I started on my high school team. What are you talking about? You want me to play in college too? I don't know. You talk about me? Hey, get my yearbook pictures. Yeah. Get my What you talking about? I trade Garland for a Brown for a heartbeat. Also, I've been hearing that they were gassed out, not buying that by any means. They just soft point blank. When the coach come out and talk about how gassed you are, how does that really, that's wild to me. We couldn't sustain the physical level. They were just more physical. They played at a higher level than we are. They played at a pace that I was like, this is wild. I'll give Kenny credit because he's honest. Usually coaches would say, I got to watch the tape and give you nothing. Cavs got to realize that they need a better offensive game plan in the playoffs. Can't be thinking you're going to be openers in the regular seasons. Dudes ain't even playing defense in the regular season. Kenny said that, in that little, that snippet that we talked about, they talked about the same thing. Is the fact that elite, he said, word for almost, here's a synopsis of it, brief. He said, basically, teams are playing us differently in the playoffs. Elite teams are playing us where there's those guys at the point of attack are good enough to keep guys in front of them and eliminating our drive and kick. Those guys are staying home. You can't, and when you look at the Cavs, and you look at the roster, Ty Jerome looked like he didn't even belong in that series. Athletically, he couldn't bring the ball up court. He couldn't keep guys off of him. He couldn't keep guys off the glass. He couldn't keep it. Defensively and just athletically, he looked completely out of the game. Sam Merrill can't dribble the rock. They had him scrambling, trying to figure out how he could get open. They was in his back pocket. When you got two guys that can't do that athletically, and then you throw in Dean Wade and Isaac Okoro who can't hit the broadside of a barn during a playoff game. All the bench stuff that you was talking about, all the other extras, no. They was looking at you like you guys are undermanned and undersized. And then taking in for the fact that Mobley, Hunter, and Garland missed game 3 or game 2. That was out of here. Garland had missed weeks before that. And then you got the 10-man himself, Jared Allen. Come on, man. Come on. How you figure you winning these games, man? I don't get it. Maybe I'm crazy. Let's see. There we go. Cleveland should forever be great for LeBron James. Gave me the only ship in my lifetime. It's hard to win a ship. Bring home his final run epic. I'll take LeBron. People be running around here talking about, we want to do it without LeBron, boy. Says who? Y'all ain't got that in y'all's playbook. You can't get back to hash. Listen, think about this. This is the second round. This isn't the Eastern Conference Finals or the finals. This is the second round. Cavs bullied and ran home to mama instead of swinging back. They did. Injuries did matter. 3 years in a row? If you're injured 3 years in a row, you got to understand what is your strength and conditioning program talking about? What is your weight program talking about? And why do I keep seeing other players playing injured? Sometimes you got to go at it. I've been saying it. 2 inefficient guards will not win in the playoffs. Backcourts win championships. And the thing that B33Z, let me just throw this out to you too. Darius Garland said that they were in the Miami Heat series that Tyler Hero was a liability defensively because he don't cover nobody, which he was correct. But I might add that Darius Garland is a worse defender than Tyler Hero. Bro, and he's fragile, and he's hurt. And they seek him out on pick and rolls every play. Think about this. If you're starting Max Strus, 6'3", 6'4", 6'2", 6'2", your small forward, your point guard, and your guard, and your shooting guard are all in the mix. Cade Cunningham, 6'7". Tatum and Brown, 6'7", 6'8". Ben Carroll, 6'10". Wagner is above 6'8". Who's really trotting? Shea Gilder's out SGA 6'6". Who's trotting out 6'2" guards today? You're getting dominated on a pick and roll. If they catch you on a switch, you're dead. Like, and it's all about shooting, G. No, it's not. It's not. And even if they're healthy, it was healthy against the Knicks. All the way healthy. Smacked. Boy. Garland, 11 points on 16 shots and 4 turnovers. Oh, boy. This is wild. This is wild work, man. Wild work. What up, Big J-Bone? I see you. I see you. Let me see. Kenny got coached by the Rick Carlisle. Of course he did. Rick Carlisle came out there and was like, listen, and he preached the physicality. Rick Carlisle, that 2-3 zone or 3-2 zone they was in, they got them, they found something. They thought they found something in game 3 with that. Game 4, they came out there and exposed it at the highest level. No need to say it. No need to say it. I think Allen's personality is that of a peaceful guy, and it translates too much on the court. I mean, that was evident a couple years ago. And I think the reason why people are very reluctant to say anything is because I do think Jared Allen is a really good person. These guys are so good people. They'd be like, yo, I wouldn't mind if you dated my sister. All these dudes. Isaac Okoro, great person. Dean Wade, stupendous person. Sam Merrill. Come on now, Donovan Mitchell is even very articulate, well-read, spoken, all the above. But when he gets on the court, he turns into a dog. That ain't gonna win again. And look, I get it. We like to think that, you know, those records in the regular season translates into something. I mean, the Cavs are in an uphill battle because their task is going to have to find people that even if they win 82 games next year, they could go 35-0 to start the season. They're not going to get the respect. They're just not. And at least they were men about it and said it and say, you know what? You're right. It don't matter what we do. How we going to move? It's going to be like that. Altman gave DG a max player because he drafted him. Never trades his draft picks, puts himself first, and never admits he was wrong. Well, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to throw it out there to you guys. Put it in the comment section. What can the Cavs win a championship next year if they keep the core 4? Put either yes or no. I'm going to leave it up to y'all. 2,363 people in here. Hit the like button for your boy. I want to know, with the argument that I just laid down to you guys, do you believe the Cleveland Cavaliers can win a championship next year if they keep the entire roster? I'll take note. I don't think it's possible. I don't think that you can teach people how to be tough. I don't think you can create a fighter out of a pacifist overnight. And I think who you are is what you are after a certain age. Science shows that between the age of 11 and 13, your mentality is cemented. Who you are pretty much is who you are. Unless you have some catastrophic things happening later in your life that categorically change your life. But to me, the proof is in the pudding. They not only are getting beat in the second round, they're not even competitive in the second round. They're getting gentlemen swept 3 years in a row. So where is all this miraculous stuff coming from? Some years they've been injured, some years they haven't. Some years they shot the ball, some years they didn't. Some years they got bullied, some years they got outran. You can't, listen, it can't be a bad matchup if it's the Knicks, they bullied you. If it's the Celtics, they barraged you with threes and you couldn't cover it. And then it's the Pacers, they ran you off the floor because they had the pace and was moving up and down the court. You can't be bad against all three. Like, you can't have, and you got beat up against Orlando. You had to have a game 7 for that. Let's get to it. Yes or no? I need to see it. Let me see. Before we get to that, we got to hold them under a microscope all year and realize what we see in the regular season don't matter. People looked at me crazy when I said that earlier in the season, but he ain't that good. He has a lot of potential, but he ain't got the Mamba mentality to be what the media says he can be. I'm guessing you're talking about Evan Mobley. Celtics went after DG on defense. DG was better this year, but he still needs to bulk up and toughen up. I need 15 from Darius Garland. I need 20 from 20. Jared Allen, I need 20 pounds of muscle. You got the money, the time, and the injury. Let's get it done. Randy, most guards have a 6'6" guard or taller. You got 6'2". You got and your small forwards are above 6'8". Can you get it done? Big J Bone says no. G Bush, you sound like an owl. Who? Well, you keep saying all the time. Let's see. Maybe Ben Carroll was right about Ty Jerome. Hey, what's up, man? I see you out here. I see you. Let's see. Here we go. Do you win next year? We'll talk about this one. When you're running 3 small guards out and they're the shortest people in the court, you're going to run into problems. Randy says no way they win a championship next year. Soul Train says no. Mr. King 562 says no. Chase says no. 100% no. TGI Diesel, no. Back out real quick, no. Another no. Big no. Not even enough. Oh, nope. Bob Walsh says yes. Okay. We got 1 yes. See if we can get 2. There's another no. Nope. Let me see. It's another no. G. Bush, would you trust drafting, G. Bush, would you trust Barry more drafting receiver or Corby? Hey, this is a funny question. I take, I'm gonna be honest, I take Kobe. I have no trust in AB drafting no receiver, bro. At least Kobe got the fact that Donovan plays big, right? He plays big. And he did trade for Hunter, but they just didn't start him. So at least he got something. Hey, the Browns is getting Deontay Johnson's, man.